Okay, so I had an important insight today when I was working with my dream about dream characters, actual people, and thought forms, and the intersection of those three things. Um, it is kind of inspired by, I was inspired by this quote I heard from, not really quote, but I forget who it was, and it was somebody kind of explaining one way to um, be in better harmony with like collective events, and they were describing the difference between an actual person and someone's your idea of that person and how they are different, ontologically different, completely different. And so there may be a person that you know, maybe very closely, or maybe like a public figure that you don't know personally. And there's two different realities of them. There's them as they exist in the world, like objectively, and then there's them as they live as an idea in your head, and that's totally subjective, and that's actually like you, and it's created by you and sustained by you. So if you have that's why one person can elicit joy in one person and fear in the other. It's because their thought forms of their person are different. That person as a subjective idea is one way for one person and one way for another person, right? So in my dream, I called it the party of past pains. And I was, without getting into the details, I realized that it brought up, it brought to the surface emotions that I have from past events associated with certain people that were, that are negative, feelings of resentment, feelings of anger, feelings of sadness, feelings of betrayal, etc. And I ran into this, and I was really very quickly and easily able to point to where in my life and with whom and what circumstances these feelings might arise from, that the dream was recalling to me, bringing up for me. But I was like, wow, this is this is also just such an old story, and I'm just so ready to let it go. I really would like to heal this pain and resentment, that is haunting my life, and it's so far in the past and just not relevant anymore. And obviously, when we're having a good day, we're like, that doesn't matter. I know I healed that. And then you have a dream. You're like, okay, obviously some part of me is still resonating with those feelings and that circumstance and that, and associating maybe, in my case, yes, but associating a person with those feelings, with those, and then carrying them into now. Even if they're long gone on a linear timeline. On the nonlinear timeline, they're still happening right now, just as present, which is just, yeah. Anyways, so I realized I re-entered this dream. In this dream, I got in a fight with one of the characters who was a representative of somebody in my life. And the fight was really, it just brought up so much anger, so much resentment. I was getting violent, and I was like, wow, I guess I still feel these ways towards this person, and associate these feelings with this person, and I just want to let that go. Anyways, I realized, I was like, okay, I'm going to re-enter the dream, and I would like to, resolve these feelings, maybe have a conversation or a confrontation or a healing with this person to resolve these feelings so I can let them go, right? And stop projecting them into my vibrational field, my information field, so that they stop then influencing my now time reality. So what I wrote in my notebook is, how can I heal these resentments and pain, release this part of myself from this environment of sickness and negativity? This dream is showing me a part of myself that is still projecting from and resonating with past pain and hurt associated with a particular person. I want to free myself from this and break down the limitations that it poses on my current life, health, abundance, happiness, success, and progress. So I decided my re-entry would be, I would say all the things and ask all the questions with this character and find healing, bring back this part of my soul that's still stuck in this energetic, vibrational field of negativity. So when I did the re-entry, I just had an interesting experience or like inspiration that came with it, which is that I got to feel very much in my body, like my whole body, mind, soul, how much the character in my dream, who represents a very real person in my life, is not them. Even if the dream associates them with very real feelings I have had towards them, or very real situations and things that have happened IRL, even if that's true, it's still the character in my dream is still not them. They are a thought form. Caveat, sometimes characters in dreams can be very real representations of people when we're having like transcendental dreams, like far more spiritual dreams, or doing very intentional out-of-body traveling, very intentional dreaming. But for dreams that just kind of come up, like normal dream, a mundane dream, you can bet that 99% of the time, the characters in your dreams are your own thought forms. And that goes for people we know well in our lives. They're in our dream. That's not them. That's a thought form. Your thought form. My thought form. And that goes for the same of just thinking about somebody, you know? Like oftentimes we'll think about somebody and have an idea of them and be like, you know, even that's just a thought form. It could accurately represent a person, and it could not accurately represent a person. For me, this thought form is very outdated. And I realized that while I was having negative emotions and feelings and pointing my finger and being like, well, it's because in the past this person did this, and this, which made me feel that way, and that's why I'm still carrying it. I realized that actually that is so outdated and long gone that actually I'm the only one still carrying it. This is my thought form. I am carrying these feelings of negativity, betrayal, resentment, anger, hurt, sadness, all of these things I'm carrying and I'm wrapping around as a thought form around this person. And so I'm actually carrying that, I'm carrying that. That person's not still influencing me from the past. I'm not getting like influenced from the past as if like the past is shining a light on me. I'm actually just carrying it within my information field because I haven't allowed myself a new thought form of this person, right? Now, this reminded me of a passage from Abraham Hicks wherein she's talking about Jesus and how Jesus healed people. And she said that she was describing his miraculous healing abilities wherein the way that Jesus was able to see somebody, even if they were very sick, see them only in their well-being, see them, perceive them, project onto them only their health at perfect health and well-being and their perfection in their perfected form. And if they were open to receiving that, they would be able to be healed, right? And so I was thinking about how, something that happened in a past that still feels like it's influencing me, that person's not doing that to me anymore, right? So then I'm the one doing it to myself. So if I wanted, in the past, if I wished that I had a place of, I had a place of trust and love and support provided by somebody, and it wasn't there, okay. But when those circumstances aren't in the material world anymore, aren't in our now moment anymore, then we are just holding that place of non-trust, non-love, non-support for ourselves. So it's actually just us now, you know? And so we have to be, you know, instead of asking to go back in time and make things different with this person, you know, like, hey, said person, let's travel back in time and you be different. How about that? And then I would be different and I wouldn't have this problem anymore. That's not going to happen. So we have to, in the now time, become what we wanted them to be. We have to become a place of trust and love and to support for ourselves if that's what we wanted from somebody else. And the way we do that is by releasing the negative thought forms that we have of these people. We have to see these people in their well-being, in their state of perfected well-being. And dreams are a really great way to do this because they give us a portal, an image that already has energy for us that was real, completely real for us like 5 hours ago. And we can step back into that image, and instead of seeing this character in their negativity, in their faults, in their weaknesses, and saying that this is affecting me negatively, we can release the negative thought forms we have of people, and we can see them in their perfected form and their well-being, and therefore we then project that into ourselves, and we can become a place of well-being for ourselves and support and trust and love and, you know, whatever, etc. for ourselves. So the characters in our dreams that we might have a negative interaction with, especially ones that represent real people in our lives, these are thought forms. They're not them. They are our own thought forms, which means we get to have influence and be intentional with that, which is our freedom. This is our free will. So-and-so, I said, so-and-so, fill in name, is just a thought form. They cannot hurt me anymore. It's only I who holds the thought form, and I, therefore, who perpetuate the pain and suffering still. I then choose to release this thought form. I choose to free them and myself from a pervasive negative vibration. So this was the insight I had today when I was doing working with my dream, and I'm excited to see where this new idea takes me and how I can apply it to other types of dreams and how I can work with it more and more and more.